Hey guys, video of the day. So I have my Vkssk bolt repaired. I'm going to continue running 1000 psi because I'm trying to find how I can make this bolt better. So one of the things without modifying the bolt in any way was I went back just to the standard FSC spring. The Vkssk spring had a very significant curve to it, which I believe led to the failure of my pin, which causes misalignment as it's entering back into the chamber. The Vkssk spring, although is stronger by nature, it is shorter, it compresses shorter, and the coils are further apart. Whether this is an issue, I don't know yet. That is why I'm starting off simple. Repair the pin and just put the spring in. And I'm going to pound on this thing with 1000 psi and see if I have the same failure point. Last go round I had 200 plus rounds in before that pin and it didn't loosen, it sheared. Without further ado, today I'm just going to test with the good old factory stubby that came with this. So I haven't used this since, literally I bought my FSC a couple of years ago. I threw this in the box and away I went with barrels. So just out of curiosity, I'm going to shoot some Riotballs, can of hybrid 9.9 gram hybrid Riotballs, and I'm going to do that on the 1000 psi. Tank's full. Then I'm going to switch and just do a test with joules and a 12 gram CO2 and see what happens. So, one of my magazines has become the product of a science experiment. I only have this one mag. So, after I'm done loading this, or after I'm done shooting this one, aired fine, I'm going to have to take a moment to reload. I'm shooting at kind of a close range here. It is what it is. I don't think the velocity is going to be, well, it's not going to be like 50, 60 joules, at least I'm not anticipating it. So I moved in a little closer so I wasn't kind of doing this with the with the short barrel. All right, oh, safety glasses, safety glasses. All right, 1000 psi, 9.9 grams. I think that's a 4.5 inch, like 688 barrel. Is it factory barrel? I don't know, I have to double check that, but anyways, here we go. $298. That's like 42 or 40-ish joules. I think that's 40 joules. Doing the math in my head, so 40 joules. 298. 300. 302. 300. I think that was my last shot. No, there's one left in there. $298. Well, I'd say that's pretty consistent. But it's just a little stubby barrel, so it's still fun though. I mean, 40 joules. Yeah, it's really nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's plenty sufficient to do some damage. Sorry, bear with me here. What am I doing here? Oh yes, get the tank off of here. Come on. I always do that slow. I've noticed if I go a little too fast, it tends to snag this o-ring. I think the o-rings expand inside there, so if you just kind of unwind it, it catches a thread and it rips your o-ring. So we'll let the air out of there. Where's my CO2? Curious how much more FPS that CO2 will give me. Generally, it gives better performance, but it is a little stubby barrel there, so who knows. Oh, better close that out there. Good measure, I always close that. All right. Oh, shear good. And I just gotta toss some joules in here. There we go, joules, Julv2s. Freshly packed into the magazine. I don't ever showed you guys this. This I'll wash my balls. So after I dig them out of my trap, you know, I know sometimes they sit in there for a week. Usually not longer than a week. But anyways, I throw them in a little salad or pasta strainer or whatever you want to call it, and wash them in the sink and give them the old herky jerky. Something that I've been wanting to try though. I remember the spinning salad things where you pump them. I thought that would be better because what happens when I do it with this, they just feel a little damp, and I kind of gotta keep doing this every once in a while. I come home from work, or I give them a shake, or I just run a paper towel through them, and that usually dries them, and I can use them right away. But I've always wanted to try one of those salad spinners and see if I could just spin them off and have them ready to go. Let's throw these back here. All right, so 6 Julv2, 12 gram CO2, 4.5 inch factory Vkssk barrel. What does she do? 318. Wow, that thing had some kick. Better hang on a little tighter than that. Yeah, 318. So I have no regulator in this. My regulator is bypassed. I haven't determined if I use CO2. If I choose to use CO2 with this Vkssk conversion, if it's beneficial at all, because this chamber is such a hog on CO2, and 12 grams are easily available, and I'm not sure that it's the most efficient with the reg bypassed. It might do better with some limitations, no, some regulations to that chamber, and just introduce enough CO2, but allow enough CO2 that it can fully expand in the chamber. Something I'll dive into maybe later on, but for now I'm still chasing that HPA goal. So all right, that was one shot, 318 I believe it was. So again, Julv2, I'll hang on to this guy a little tighter this time. 310. 292. Uh-oh. And again with the misfire. What have we got going on? So, we are going to, that's the second time out with the CO2. First I'm going to shut the air off. This is where it can be touchy sometimes, so I don't know what this is doing right now. I imagine a round got trapped or my trigger just got stuck, but either way I'm going to safely release the mag. see shit down there. And it just was a failure to load the ball. Funny enough. Well, tell you what, before I do anything else here, I'm swinging this around after I just preaching safety. So I'm going to release the CO2. Let the air out of this guy. And there's the jewel. Bam. So, I don't know if I'd attribute that to this barrel. I mean, I used to get jams. Funny enough, I remember why I just put this barrel away was jams, but I was mostly shooting HP, so... Well, you saw it here first. CRBs, the can of Riotballs went through no problem. Don't know why the jewel didn't go through. They are a little bit larger, so that may have played a factor. One of these days, you guys are gonna see a full 12 gram CO2. But started off 318. That's not too bad. I do like that little stubby look like that, but I don't like jams. So I'll probably do another video and see if I can get the 9.9s to cycle through on the CO2. If I do, it's probably an issue with the barrel here. I mean, really it shouldn't be, but I don't know. Something to look into.